Hey, there's Scorpio. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, click that subscribe button and ring the bell. They'll let you know anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy of the World, be sure to give us a big thumbs up, like, and share. Also, to all the subscribers who have given donations into the channel, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You'll see new decks showing up here very soon from the donations that came in. I picked up 4 new decks from this great place. I'm excited and looking forward to that. Now, as for another quick little aside, see this beautiful necklace I am wearing? Look at this. Isn't that amazing? Now, turquoise is always to be gifted. That's where its powers comes from. I have a friend, she calls herself a Scorpitarius, and I do as well. She was born November 22nd, so she's right there on the cusp. But where she lives in America, it carries a very scorpionic energy, and she is a purveyor of truth, and truth in humanity, and I love that about her. She's an invaluable human being, first and foremost, but also wealth and resource. Like if you ever saw her list of education credentials, they go on and on for days. She's talented and gifted at anything she does. She makes this beautiful jewelry. She's also a yoga, I would say teacher, but a liver of yoga, and a communicator of its wisdom and gifts to us. She's also a wholeness health coach and nutritionist. You can check out her Instagram at Blazing Light Yoga. Her name is Bhagya Shri, that's her given name, and her birth name is Mel Glover. So you might know her as either of those. But anyways, I want to give a shout out to my friend and say I love you much. So thankful that you are a part of our world and you bring the sunshine that you do. Now, let's get into this, Scorpio, because you're showing me that you are looking for love. At the bottom of the deck, this is showing up like a dowsing rod, okay? And you have a heads up, you're totally looking. The interesting thing is you're looking up while you're looking down. So you're putting your energy downward while your spirit and soul are looking upward. Interesting juxtaposition, because you were also telling me through that you were looking for judgment and justice, which to me are 2 balancing cards. They're bringing the energies back central, centralizing your energy there, which is wild because the justice card did end up coming out. You're saying, look at our chakras, look at our energy, tell us what's going on so we can figure this out. And that's the amazing thing. You guys are truly intuitive and gifted on so many psychic levels, looking outward around you, okay? And you're wanting a safe space to be able to look back at yourself. So that's the energy you've called forth here. And I just serve as a perspective, as, signs along the road to read to you what you have brought through here today. Now let's start with the first card, which is the one that is not turned. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so we're starting with death. We need to wipe the slate clean and get a whole new beginning, because you're saying that this energy just isn't going to work. The looking up, the looking down, oftentimes y'all have me begin to move it according to what you've called in and the wisdom that's revealed in it. But in this case, your wisdom is, Let's start fresh and new. Let's begin again. You're saying there isn't enough to save there, is what you're telling me, okay? Now, it's beautiful. It's seemingly going to bear good fruit all forever and through. You're saying let's give it another go, okay? And we're going to find out what that looks like through here to bring in that justice, that judgment, that balanced thinking, that being on the same page with yourself, okay? Yeah, I see why, because your perspective is based on your experience, and you've had a myriad of experiences, and they all come back to people falling short of what they seem to be. It's kind of like the plague, the Black Death, that type of thing, the trust issues, all right? And that has led to an injury. That's the strange thing about this card. It has the weirdest phenomenon as to how it got injured. It got injured by nothing. But yet you can see that crimp? Can you see the facets put in this? Which makes it very fascinating that this was your first card out. To me, it's often like an indication of a bruise, but you're telling me it's a bruise that is imperceptible. So that's more in the soul, or you're saying here from the death card, it's in the psyche. Okay, so that's what we're getting rid of, is the psyche. We're getting rid of those imprints, those, you're saying engravings. It's like foil stamping. Like, I remember having to do a foil rub in shop class when I was in junior high. And we had to put it over this, kind of like a stamp would be. You know, rubber stamp has those raised points. And you rub until you pick up all the nuances, and it takes on the shape and the form and becomes dented and elevated by the image that's underlying it. Okay, so you've been shaped by this image that was underlying you, and that's this card plum is 41. Overcome your challenge. And how to overcome that, something that's been bent, how do you make it straight again? Because that's the ironic thing. Like, say you even took copper wire and you began to bend it, it's going to soften it, it's going to shape, and even if you straighten it back out, you look closely, is not totally straight. It has these warm, warbled spots going on in it. So that's why you're saying start fresh and new. The shaping that was put into you through this is, you're saying, indeterminate. Okay, and although it seemed very promising, what your self, what your wisdom, what your truth is coming along is saying, don't be fooled by that. What is good and what should remain is you. That's what you're telling me here. You are the value point that needs to be retained from this. So give yourself a fresh start, a fresh mind about this whole experience. So what we have coming in underneath here is the Two of Coins. You're like, I don't know how I feel about that. That makes sense, but I don't want to. That makes sense, but I don't want to. I should do it, but I don't want to. I should do it, but I don't want to. And y'all, I have to go like to taper it off, because this has busied you, heart, mind, soul, being Scorpio, day and night. It's something that is just like, it's like bubbling. You're saying bubbling, not bubbling, bubbling and brewing underneath the surface. That would be like a simmer. So you're down here, got it kind of low. You're like, no, I'll use that simmer to cook the rice. I'll use it to steam the vegetables. But what you're saying here is it's about to turn full up on you and cause a rolling, raging boil, which then makes you expend your fantastic energy in a charge that makes you lose. It makes you lose. It's not even about anybody else winning or losing. It's that you lose your essence, your life force, your zing, your jing, your true kidney you're pointing at, which is going to come in over here, and they're saying bring it now. Okay, so we bringing it now because you're bent. Your color chakras are bent, and I didn't know how we were going to rectify it, but you're telling me now. So it has how it's not even just particular people doing this to you. There's energetic forces and allied out and around that want to diminish your power. That's the best way to say it. It's not demons, it's not all these kind of things, it's energies, okay? Trying to balance energy. And when it begins to really, you saw it as a simmer, but what you couldn't see is, like, imagine all the roots of the tree, it was sucked in, it was balled up like this, okay? And so that is like a spring that is wound up. It has to be dislodged or sprung, right? So that that energy can spread and sprawl back out and release the tension, okay? So in order to bring balance in the tension, you have to lose a lot of your life force from the kidneys, and that's why I think you're bringing this in, is to teach yourself how to balance the energies along the way so that you don't have to lose yourself in this, that you don't have to lose such charismatic energy to chaos, okay? So this is the Four of Rods. That's why I find it fantastic that you're talking about like that. It is your foundational truth. It helps you not only anchor down, root in. You see, these are screws, they're bolts. This is the Antique Anatomy Tarot. So this is kind of like gruesome type surgery things, pins, all that kind of stuff going on, but it helps you root in so that you can begin to rise up. Almost like tent pegs put down in. It can anchor your house, your foundation, and bring forth the simple, radiant, bright beauty that you are. Although you're deemed often as very complex, you're quite simple. But it's trying to understand that mechanism of your power that is the complexity. So I like that you're taking us through this, because who to know you better than you? All right? So then that begins to take it out of more than just the deep, intimate power and sacral chakra, where that bruising, that wounding, that distrust has come about, and it pulls it more up into your will, which, remember, was that teeter-totter here of I know I should, but I shouldn't. I know I should, but I shouldn't. And it's beginning to blossom here. It's on the horizon is what you're saying, so that then you can maintain your power. And if you maintain it, then you're saying, you're going like this, then you can turn it, meaning you can invest it and reap the benefits and the rewards thereof. Not only will you maintain what you have, you will grow it as well. That's fantastic. So that's coming in alongside Azure, number 36, which is protect yourself. That's beautiful because that is your vital energy. It is your vitality. And our vitality is like that sunshine. It is the radiance. It is our solarness that feeds all that we eat, all that we imbibe in. It's the photosynthesis that keeps life growing and makes it easy to see where it is that you're going. Okay? Makes it clear skies. And that's what you're saying is the new imprint. That's why it had to be kept away from this, so that it keeps you clear, smooth and clear, free and clear. So for now, that looks like it's still going to stay here because the bend, it took the bend from your clarity here. It took the bend at the heart chakra to the right side. So right shoulder is making a lot of sense that you're trying to avoid your heart. You're trying to, you say, avoid the wound, the heart. And it's coming over here to the side, like as far removed as possible. But you didn't realize by doing that, you were going to put out the rest of this. Your divine connection. The thing that soothes you, that gives you that clarity, that peace of mind, that penetrating perception that you guys have. So let's take a look at what card is here. It's Emerald, number 30, calm your mind, body, and soul. And remember, in our videos, we talk about the 4 eyes, the intellect, the intuition, the instinct, and the intimacy. We've already dealt with the intimacy here, and so now you're talking about the other parts of yourself, that it creates a ripple effect. And you didn't know that, getting away from your heart, as if, you were like a string here that pulling here loads that tension and that pressure that has to discharge. Okay, which makes you fall in love quickly. All right, that makes sense, and thus the pattern repeats. All right, okay. How, why, I don't know. It's just what you're showing me. So, how do we keep you from continuing to play that creative fool, that loaded energy discharges and it causes that foolishness again, not like the fool of the tarot, the fool that leads unto life. There are two. When you're playing in this deck, you can see it from either way, the one that plays unto life or the one that plays into death. That's why you have to be an apt listener, that you're aware of where you're going and not just being led about. You want to be led by your truth and not by lies or distortion, okay? And that's what you're saying here, is there was ripple effect going on that you didn't know, that you kept playing yourself for a fool, because each time you go on with clarity and intention, not realizing you had already set yourself up from where you had collected yourself from the last, you're saying gathering and incurrence. I don't know how else to say it, but from the last experience that you had. So how do we disarm that and unripple it? Is begin to get your heart back to center, to get it to restore the line, and to take that tension and that pressure off and begin to be at ease, that your will, what you decide is going to be good for you, because you didn't realize that was reactionary, since you had loaded it and pulled your heart far away from its natural home, its natural self, that the next time you're ready and it was already going to be out of balance. Okay? So it was being misguided. The Hierophant is the card that's coming in to clarify this, and it's a 5, so it's about change, creativity, massive manipulator. I'm only one to look at with the side eye, be like over here myself too, just like you. Oh my, that's, I would say fantastic, but not in the good sense. Like knocks you out cold, takes you out dead, like it's otherworldly. It's this vacuum, this deadly gas, deadly toxic gas. That's how somebody can knock you out without even getting close to you. So what we have to see here in the Hierophant on this card, they use botany and anatomy together. And this plant that is here is the pokeweed, the almighty pokeweed. Now, out in country regions, they have poke salad. And it's not actually poke salad, it's poke salad. Almost like with a T, but they do mean salad. So we're going to have some poke salad for dinner. Sometimes it's fresh, sometimes it's sauteed, but it's always when the plant is a baby. We're talking like this. Like just shooting above the ground, barely even having a stalk, just some leaves popping off of there, because if it gets past about here, it is highly toxic and poisonous. It is a purgative, meaning all that was in you is forced outside of you. Imagine like Montezuma's revenge, but coming out of every orifice of yourself, so much that even your soul is screaming, just wanting to go. It's wanting to be purged and cleared of everything, like to leave this plane of existence. That's how intense this cycle has become. Even though it seems small, like it shouldn't have gotten to that, it shouldn't happen like that. That's how strongly your system reacts to this energy that continued to come in from having yourself offloaded, removed from not dealing with a previous hurt or wound because it went down so deep. It went down to the intimacy because it was coming off of this old foil imprint, like that rising of the passion of like, I'm really attracted here. I want to connect with my other pole, the sacral and the cranial balance, and that's why y'all been doing the work. So I'd advise you, if you're new here to the Scorpios, go check out the other ones, because it's you guys are where it has really risen up about the eyes getting aligned, the 4 sectors of the eye coming into alignment, and getting it to where you couldn't be so triggered down here because you have checkpoints along the way. You have the 4 checkpoints, and you're able to check in with yourself. And rather than just bending a certain way of, I can't trust that person, or, oh, I'm so attracted to this person, or back and forth, that you have a fattened up profile, a more diverse perspective now. You have more facets to your diamond, is what you're telling me. So it's still not ready to straighten back out. So let's see what else we've got going on under here. So underneath the 4 of Rods and the Hierophant, we have the Page of Elixirs coming in. So this is hopeful, okay? This is about hope springing up, springing forth, doing you a good turn. Some cheerful, youthful enthusiasm is what you're talking about. And it's not like, oh, let's go do this again. But it's like, when younger friends comfort each other, we're talking like, 10 or 12, they're like, things are going to get better. That's kind of what I hear being said here from this page. And it's also, because it's bending so far forward, showing the fontanelle, the soft spot, it's saying, look at that one where it talks about your soft spot, that Scorpio video especially. And it's being able to be comfortable with the dynamism of who you are. That strong, hard carapace and that soft, mushy inside. Not like mushy, like gross, but liquidous. That's where so much of your ability actually comes from. So don't disdain it. I don't have better words to describe it except when I talk about the 4 states of matter. It's almost like plasma. It's just a little bit thicker than the consistency of blood. Okay? And then underneath the colors themselves, we have the Lovers coming in. So you're showing me that when they're in alignment, not alignment, when they're in alignment, it does bring about love, but you're wanting it to be true love, lasting love, things that work forever. And now you're saying, now I want you to put this back together. So we're going to put you back together here, Scorpio. See if we can get it to fit on the table nicely. So to restore your alignment, yeah, I can feel it almost like a breath when you're stuck and you almost choke, how there's that spasm, that pain, like angina, like it's just releasing. and it's going back down, and your eyes are aligning again and feeling comfortable with yourself. So how would that go? That goes here. Okay, so then that would go here. All right. Whew, I can almost breathe now. That feels a whole lot better. That feels a whole lot better. So that's the unique thing. They're in alignment now, right? But now it's coming in through the heart chakra, and it can move all the way up, so that the Hierophant now is more balancing with that Justice card. It's like having clarity all the way through, having resonance is what you're saying, that you'll feel it humming and vibing, not just like this warm uprising shockwave of an energy called chemistry, but it'll be somebody who makes you laugh, somebody who makes you feel warm, somebody who, pushes you a bit, makes you think more, but also calms you as well. And that you are able to give fully of yourself also, because there isn't that offloaded energy that makes you hold back until you lose everything, right? Now that you've reset this and you've cleared that pattern, and you've stopped doing and undoing yourself, being your own undoing, now we can get to the juicy, delicious bits and parts. Joy, Scorpio. Get in here, okay? So we have Coral. Allow flow and synchronicity into your life. I have 18. You're talking about a divine connection. Something that's more than just the one. You want it all. And the thing is you're quite attractive. You shouldn't have to work for this. Who you are is enough. That's what you want me to tell you, and that's what I want to say as well. Who you are is enough. You're special. You're divine exactly the way you should be. You're alive and thriving even underneath the surface of the water. Who you are is innately attractive. And it draws in perfect pairings for you. Okay? And you're saying, now go look. So we're looking now. We're looking at the Justice card. That's funny. Because remember your heart and your mind. Look. That's your heart and your mind. They're now one and on the same page, and that causes your sacral chakra to flourish. Look at this. And you talk about your season coming up, the autumn weather coming in, the cooler weather, when the air gets thinner and the sky gets brighter and the stars are more radiant. You're like, yes, that is the romance that I like. Turn it up and bring it on. You're ready to connect. That's what I see here. Your heart is now ready to connect. It's no longer about just chemistry, this thing that, like a chemical reaction, it's forced to play itself completely out until the original components of each is fully expended and lost into, dissolved into the, you're saying entropy, which is strange. It was a perpetual state, and I see why you changed this now. But not having to go into that anymore, you're now truly ready to connect in a genuine energy. And I love it because this divines and floats and aligns along the same energy of what you have going on here in the Four of Rods. I love that. So underneath Coral, that divine connection that you have going on, we have the Two of Elixirs, okay, which would be the Two of Cups. And I love it. Because it's about two different energies being able to be in the same space, fully expressed, fully embracing, and equally beautiful. Neither one having to diminish the other, power struggles, power plays. Because if you were having this power struggle over here, that's clearly what you're going to have here. But now look at it. I see them, they're just harmonizing and fully blooming, fully alive. Like every bud, every blossom is open, fully open, nothing hidden. Nothing held back. No more of that offsetting energy to be dumped in, oh, okay. I gotcha. I heard it. I'm in the flow of these words, that to talk and listen is, something has to be slightly compromised. That's why I go back and listen to these to share in the full wisdom that you guys are giving to us. So, okay, number 10, storm warning, followed by the sun. So apparently there's a little bit of that discharging still, as it's the easing off, the coming out of the tension, the unfurling, that it any string that's been like that, it's now stretched. Like blow up a balloon, leave it blown up for a while, deflate the balloon, don't pop it, but deflate it, and it's all warbledy shaped. So in order to not harm yourself, this energy is saying like the storm warning is there. You could do the tornado, you could do some destruction, or you could do the least harmful of all, which to me would just be, it takes some work to unfurl the tip of that balloon, but work with it, spin on it, get some dish soap, something, whatever, some lubricant to kind of ease up that tension and take it out and undo it, and then slowly let that steam off, let that pressure off, give it just a little bit of time, okay? And that energy, it plays itself out when it has nothing left to consume. And then you can move away from that, right? You can clear it off, you can clean it out, or you could just full on go for pop it. Pop that sucker and watch it just make its noise all over the place like that tornado and be done with it. You know yourself, okay? You know you best and how you move on from things. But make sure that you allow the full energy of the sun to arrive behind it. You know, after the rain comes the sun, and that's such a beautiful sight when they commingle together. But now your bowl is full. It's full of all this moisture. It is full of laughter. It is full of adoration and appreciation of the dynamic vitality of who you are, of all that you've actually come through and what your song is. No longer having to be played like that, okay? Not playing yourself and not letting anyone else play you. Because this isn't a game, this is your life. And it's meant to be lived, it's meant to be enjoyed, and it's obviously meant to be shared, okay? So I've enjoyed this time with you, Scorpio. It's been fantastic. Remember, if you like Instagram, to look up my friend at Blazing Light Yoga. That's who made this amazing necklace for me. And I thank you guys for tuning in. Scorpio, love you. Bye.